Today we're here with Rick Caro, a 38-year veteran in the health and fitness industry. Welcome to the Apogee Network. Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure.
Rick, I just want to spend a couple minutes for our viewers to understand what Management Vision is and what some of the capabilities of your firm are.
We're a consulting firm dedicated to the health and fitness industry, and we've been at it about 27, 28 years as a consulting firm. There are about 5 or 6 things we focus on and do a very substantial job in each of those particular areas. We do an awful lot of market analyses for clubs, either clubs to be built, clubs that are thinking of expanding and want to make sure there's enough market to support them. In some cases, people are looking to purchase a club and want to know that the market situation is adequate. In other cases, it may be a club that's thinking, or a set of clubs that's thinking of selling and needs to be able to convince a would-be buyer that their market conditions are very positive. So we do a lot of those. Secondly, we do a lot of valuations of clubs for every reason you can imagine. Someone wants to sell, someone wants to buy, estate planning, sometimes it's unfortunately for divorce reasons, or that someone wants to buy out a minority partner, or a host of other reasons, protesting real estate taxes, dealing with some other issue that they need to understand what today's value is. Third, we do a lot of expert witness testimony on generally business issues, not slips and falls and insurance type matters, but really in some cases there are all kinds of legal disputes that occur in any industry, and this is no different. And I've had a chance to testify in about 40 different states and in all different jurisdictions, from federal to state to municipal levels. It's not something I think we're all proud of as an industry, but like every industry, there always are going to be legal actions. I have a sister company that does a lot of member research, and we do a lot of consumer member studies, whether they're everything from current members to anonymous former member studies. In some cases, there are focus groups that we do, and that's also part of it. And I'm supposed to know a lot about club finances, so I get involved in helping clubs in various ways, or in some cases, working with financial institutions that are looking to either get in the industry or be part of a transaction where I become part of their team, either a due diligence team or some kind of a team that's looking at the transaction. And finally, we also get involved in sometimes serving as a consultant for one side of the table or the other in a purchase-sale situation. We're never a broker in between. We're always only on one side of the table, and we assist in that process.
And some of the areas that I've seen you focus on as well, more on the entrepreneurial side, is helping fast-growing companies enter the fitness space. Can you talk about some of the either assignments or board seats that you've had in the past and how that's worked out?
Well, thank you. Yes, actually, the Spectrum Clubs, which has generally been in the top 20 clubs in the country in terms of size, that was created in 1999 when I was asked to serve as the first chairman and help put together a company with a private equity firm. And we bought an existing set of clubs in one region, San Antonio, Texas. We bought a second set of clubs in Los Angeles, put them together in the form of what we now call Spectrum Clubs, and in 6 months became the 10th largest company in the industry.
We clearly have the same view on where the industry is going and continuing segmentation. One of the questions that we usually get, we have our answer for, which I'd like to get your answer on, is a lot of private equity firms or investors are saying, are these markets over-clubbed? Is there room for another health club? And I guess our response has always been there are room for better concepts, newer concepts, more innovation. I just want to get your take on if you look at a map, you say, are there more clubs necessary, or are there better concepts that are going to maybe overtake some of the legacy players in the space that aren't adapting?
Well, this is an industry that's relied, as you know, too much on price and not enough on true positioning and differentiation. So the first challenge is looking at existing markets, and if no new club came in, what would that market look like in a year or two or three? And in many cases, there will be changes naturally having nothing to do with newcomers entering the market to shake it up. It'll, in effect, be shaking itself out in some ways going forward. The answer to that is a specific one. One needs to do a specific market analysis of a particular market, looking at supply versus demand. And I just completed a study in San Francisco, in downtown San Francisco, where there are 45 clubs within a 12-minute drive time, which amounts to less than 2 miles. And some of those clubs are not doing well, but the end result of the study indicated that a particular new club with a certain concept would not succeed there if they were to go in. Mm-hmm. So in that example, the answer is no, a club should not go in. Would another club of a different concept make sense going in? And the answer is yes, and I've recommended that they study a different concept, and we can review that analysis from a different standpoint, but the concept they were testing was a no-go.
Gotcha. Anything else you'd like to share with the Apogee Network?
I think, from one of the standpoints of technology is that we have very little opportunity to get resources online that make life easy for the club industry. We've seen a few webinars, we've seen a few people provide resources in a very limited basis that make it easy for someone to sit in their backyard and get really meaningful information. So the direction of where Apogee Media is going is exciting for me and for the industry, because it means that it gives a lot more people an opportunity not to have to come to a national convention and hope that's their only or main way of learning, but to have constant learning and have it dig deeper into their organization, so a lot more people can benefit from very practical knowledge that otherwise would not be feasible.
Great. Well, thanks for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
As always, good to see you.
My pleasure.
Continued success.
Thanks so much.